while my first guest or our first guest is getting connected, I will go ahead and open up the security session by saying thank you and welcome to this session, which is tied to an amazing, as I said earlier, an amazingly awesome event so far. I am John Caruthers, and I work in EVOTEK's security practice as an executive advisor slash BSO. Enough about me. Hopefully, Alisa and or Erkan are going to be online here shortly. But enough about me. Um, and considering the companies and the innovations represented here, I have no doubt that it's going to get even more awesome. And with that, I'm going to attempt to pass the microphone over to Alisa Moretto of Deepwatch. Deepwatch is sponsoring the security sessions. Thank you so much to this awesome startup company. And Alisa is going to speak on their behalf. But first, a couple of quick facts on Alisa. Um, she is a winemaker and a self described grape whisperer. That could be an entirely different session that I would love to partake in. But for today's session, she's going to represent as the director of and solutions architect for Deepwatch. And so, Elisa, are you able to connect and speak? Elisa, that's okay. Not a problem. What I'm going to do is describe a little bit about what Deepwatch does. It's doing some juggling, but let me go ahead and real quickly describe Deepwatch. Deepwatch delivers analytics-driven managed security services by extending customer cybersecurity teams and proactively advancing their SecOps maturity. So vital in 2021. Powered by its unique data-driven cloud SecOps platform and dedicated cloud security experts, Deepwatch is trusted by leading global organizations to provide 24/7, 365 managed security services. And of course, you can always learn more about Deepwatch at www.deepwatch.com. See threats and stop breaches together. This is the Deepwatch message, among others, right? So, kind of working through some of the initial data sets or factoids tied to Deepwatch, right? So the risk of securing the modern and distributed enterprise, which is let's go ahead and face the facts. That's what we live in today. Is becoming increasingly complex, right? We have seen. Quick background on me. I'll take a quick tangent. I was in the FBI for 27 years. Half of that time I spent focused on cybersecurity, and I immediately focused on the last bullet here, and that we've seen an increase of 3x in ransomware, and that is off the charts, right? I still talk to my former FBI colleagues now, and all they focus on is ransomware and business email compromise. Yet I digress. Deepwatch to the rescue, in a sense, when it comes to some of these threats, right? So the traditional approach is failing. I would absolutely agree with that. And when we say traditional approach, one thing that that we were kind of talking about recently, um, the way we've defended our networks and our enterprises and our data has not really changed. There's been some nuance, but that's about it, right? The however, the TTPs, the techniques, the tactics, and the practices employed by the bad guy, they are evolving, they are innovating, and they're changing. This is where a deep watch comes into play, right? The innovative startup mentality is so critical to address the shifting landscape. And so, how do we do that? How does Deepwatch approach this through a managed suite? We talked earlier in my description about managed services, so critical. There's so many directions we can go with this conversation, right? With regards to a lack of cybersecurity talent. Mark and Enrique talked about that earlier, and it's just all the more valuable and important that we have a Deepwatch available to provide these types of services. And anybody, if you want to jump in, I see it looks like Angelica is in.
Yeah, we both actually just got able to share our audio,
I
but
didn't
you're
sink the
doing a
ship in the
fabulous
process.
job.
Yeah, let me know if you can hear me as well.
We
Yeah,
can.
I can hear whoever's speaking.
This is Alisa. Sorry about
Hey,
that.
Alisa, no problem. Why don't we just continue where I left off, and I'll just keep sharing my screen. Would that work?
Oh, that'd be perfect. Thanks, John, and appreciate everyone's patience here. We have our security on our back end locked down pretty tight, and we're working through some challenges this morning, getting ready to hop in, literally. So thank you. Really
Boom,
appreciate
boom.
it, John. You did a great job, really kind of highlighting some of those first couple slides. And really, Deepwatch is a people company. We are aligned with several top tier technologies and platforms that many of you might be using out there, such as Splunk or Sentinel-1 for endpoints. But really, kind of where we differentiate from maybe the typical and the norm is filling that people gap is that we have our squad model, which are comprised of subject matter experts who are kind of working with these tools. And so really kind of really adding to your security staff in a way that allows you to focus on business risks, start focusing on maturing the governance pieces of your security program. So really kind of taking that tier one, tier two analyst, kind of hair on fire every day and moving that to the right. So we're taking that burden off and allowing you to do the strategic pieces of your security program that you're up at 10 o'clock doing or waking up in the middle of the night worrying about, and really helping the organization move forward and reduce the risk of potentially some of those ransomware events. Just looking in the news every day, right? We see it happening. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and really about the security resiliency to this slide is, visibility. You have to know what you have in your ecosystem. You have to protect it. But then a lot of folks are doing that in certain aspects, but measuring it and then aligning it with the business practices and goals, that's kind of where we again help you move from the very left and just visibility to alignment. And John, if you want to move to the next slide, I really appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
There we go.
So as I mentioned, just kind of briefly in the previous conversation, the name squads. So really we have a team of experts, and that team is essentially assigned to several different clients, but dedicated to your organization. And so they might be in the same vertical of, let's say, the financial space, like I was just listening to Matt and Guru in the previous conversation, right? Like, so they're looking for threats that may be common across verticals. They're looking for threats that might be happening in your specific environment, and then really taking that and looking at the analytics and providing an actionable ticket, right? Not just saying, hey, you have this problem, but here's this problem. We suggest that you do this to solve it. So the squad is really truly not just kind of pitching the ball over the fence. It's really giving you the way to trigger your incident response processes. It's helping you evolve and change your business continuity and disaster recovery processes. And so very important in that switch, in the hybrid cloud that we have, most folks are finding themselves operating in. So truly, a way for you to gain visibility around that whole ecosystem and really do the things that need to be done, prioritize. And again, the economies of scale there, because we have the assigned folks. So you know who you're calling. If you're having an issue on a Saturday, recently we have a customer who just joined us, who was ransomware about a month ago, and just didn't have anyone to call. We got the incident response process started with a partner, and then really got them set up, and now they have the ability to see kind of what's going on in their environment, even through Deepwatch mobile. So that gives you the ability to again see and react in a kind of that real time aspect. And then the squad works with each of our clients and organizations to continually refine. So not just status quo, we look at it today and set it and forget it. We actually are working with each of our clients over a period of time to really look at the logs that are coming in and being digested. What are the outcomes? Are we seeing things that maybe there's could be more value around if we added additional ingestion? So those are the differentiators in the sense that we are truly partnering and working with you over time to see your maturity be more successful and really, again, meet those business needs of your organization. All right.
And Alisa, we have about 1 minute. I
Yep.
apologize for that.
Nope. And I think we'll just, this is, again, just kind of touching on our squad. And then I believe we just have that final slide there, John, and I really appreciate
Awesome.
everyone's patience with this, and certainly happy to answer any questions at a later time. Obviously, our information is available through the EVOTEK team, and I wish everyone well the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Alisa, and thank you to Deepwatch for sponsoring this so important security session. And I don't just say that; I live and breathe it. So thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much.
Awesome.